KBRFradio.com news, I'm Derek Sidian, and this is the weekly news recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorials.com, memorials that matter. A Pelican Rapids mother has pled guilty to unintentional second-degree murder for the death of her 3-year-old daughter. 30-year-old Suad Muhammad Ali was arrested on July 10, 2023, after Pelican Rapids police were called to her house on a report of an unresponsive child. Officers on the scene said that when they arrived, the girl was lying on the floor and they could not find a pulse. She was brought to Essentia Health St. Mary's in Detroit Lakes, where she was later pronounced dead. According to court documents, Ali told officers that she had killed her daughter, saying she suffocated her to stop her crying for food and smiled while responders were performing CPR. She also told officers that she had tried to stab her daughter with a knife earlier that night, but she had not harmed the child with the weapon. Officers say they did find a knife on the arm of a couch in the living room. Ali was initially charged with second and third-degree murder, but on Thursday, she pled guilty to unintentional second-degree murder. She is set to be sentenced on June 16th. Authorities have released the identity of the Otter Tail man that was killed in a rollover accident Sunday evening. State troopers say that 69-year-old Gordon Ernest Rudd died after his vehicle left Highway 78 south of Otter Tail Lake and rolled, landing on its roof. Troopers say alcohol was not a factor in the crash. A young woman is injured after hitting a construction hole on I-94 in Fergus Falls. State troopers say that on Monday afternoon, 20-year-old Hannah Jackson of Hanover was driving west on I-94 in the construction zone west of town when her vehicle hit a hole construction made in the concrete. Jackson was transported to Lake Region Healthcare for treatment of minor injuries, and her passenger was uninjured. MnDOT reminds drivers to be cautious when driving through construction and to slow down in areas of road work. The Fergus Falls City Council has denied interim use permits for both Elevate and Sugar High, further delaying the sale of cannabis in the city. At the City Council meeting on Monday, the council was set to vote on the permits for both companies when Councilmember Mike Mortensen called into question the definition of attractions in the city's zoning ordinance for cannabis sales.
This is absurd, what happened last night. This is unnecessary, further delaying a process that evidently at least half, if not a majority of the city council are looking to continue to delay.
The city ordinance dictates that cannabis retail stores cannot be within 250 feet of an attraction within a public park that is regularly used by minors, as measured from the edge of the real property on which the attraction is located. Mortensen says that neither the state legislature nor the Office of Cannabis Management have a legal definition for the phrasing, and that it may be argued that the Speece Riverfront Park and the Riverwalk in downtown Fergus Falls could be considered attractions or have attractions for kids and are too close to these retailers. Owner of Sugar High, Emily McCune, thinks this stance is bizarre.
There are already clear definitions and presumptions of an attraction. The splash pad, obviously an attraction. Athletic parks where kids come and play sports, that was gone over last night. The Riverwalk is a scenic walk. It's not an attraction. This is absurd and ridiculous.
Chris Stock, co-owner of Elevate and a registered nurse, says,
right now we're 230 feet from Spies Park, the parking lot of it, and I think our biggest thing is, it's hard to say that that would be a kid attraction.
Who's it up to? What data are they going to be pulling from to determine what defines an attraction? Is it a mural under one of the bridges on the Riverwalk that draws people? Is it a butterfly statue?
With their permits hanging in the balance, both Stock and McCune are concerned that their investments into their locations are going out the window.
Our biggest concern is the investment we've already made into our building that we've been in for the last 2.5 years, thinking that we were zoned correctly.
Despite a lengthy discussion at the council meeting, the two business owners were not allowed to speak on behalf of their companies. The votes on both permits failed, with council members Kildee, Fish, and Job voting yes, and Layton, Krameyer, Mortensen, Rachels, and Kwame voting no. Stock says that Elevate will continue to work with the city and discuss the next steps.
And we've always been really open and inviting everybody down here that even doesn't agree with what we're doing. I think just having a conversation and kind of getting that education piece involved is a huge thing.
McCune says Sugar High is not giving up.
Okay, very well. A little bit more delay, fine. We can deal with that. We've been fighting this fight for over 2 years, okay? It's been made very apparent that our council will continue making this as difficult as they can for us until the very end, and likely continued through navigating this new industry.
Councilmember Mortensen made a motion after each permit was denied for the council and city staff to work with the Office of Cannabis Management to come to a clear definition of attractions in regard to cannabis zoning. As of Wednesday, Otter Tail County Highway 1 south of Fergus Falls is temporarily closed for reconstruction. The Highway Department says access to residences will be maintained during this project, with some delays expected. Drivers going between Wendell and Fergus Falls should utilize alternate routes. Later this season, the I-94 exit 55 ramps will close for about 3 weeks. The county says the reconstruction is expected to be complete by September. Drivers on I-94 should expect lane closures in both directions between Dalton and Ashby beginning next week. MnDOT says that starting on Wednesday, April 30th, construction crews will be installing traffic control devices in preparation for the upcoming bridge replacement project on westbound I-94. Then, starting Monday, May 5th, westbound traffic will be directed onto the eastbound lanes while crews begin work on the bridge on westbound I-94. Through October, there will be one-lane head-to-head traffic through the project area between Dalton and Ashby. This work is a continuation of the 2-year, $6.7 million project to replace the existing metal culverts at the Pelican Creek with span beam bridges. In 2024, crews constructed the bridge on the eastbound side, and this year they returned to construct the westbound bridge. The first round of grant recipients for the Opioid Settlement Fund has been announced by Otter Tail County. Through the Otter Tail County Opioid Settlement Fund's Advisory Council and the County Board of Commissioners, $400,000 in funding has been awarded to support treatment, recovery, and prevention efforts. Otter Tail County Administrator Nicole Hansen says, quote, "This funding is a critical step in supporting local organizations that are on the front lines of addiction recovery and prevention. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we are committed to investing in programs that will create lasting, positive change in Otter Tail County," end quote. 5 organizations received the first round of grants: the Bridge Center in Pelican Rapids, Purim 180, Lake Region Halfway Home, Otter Tail County Probation, and Community and Life Services. This has been the Weekly News Recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorials.com, memorials that matter. For KBRFradio.com News, I'm Derek Sidian. Tune in every Friday at 12:30 on KBRFradio.com or on the Fergus Now app to stay up to date with local news. Get more news at KBRFradio.com. Sign up for email news sent right to your inbox, delivered by Cooper's Office Supply.